Okay. Who wants to say the prayer?
I'll say it.
Okay.
All right. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this day and grateful for this chance that we have to meet together. We're grateful for technology that brings us together, and we're also grateful for higher education that allows us to grow and build our mental capacity and become more marketable to the world and allow us to provide for our families. We're grateful for the gospel in our lives, and we ask for opportunities to share our testimony and our light with others. We offer this prayer in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Cool. All right, so we need a spiritual thought.
I can do it.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's already pulled up. In church on Sunday, we were talking about pride, and so I was looking back into it, and this is one of the scriptures that talked about, said, "Cursed is he that putteth his trust in man, or make flesh his arm, or shall hearken unto the precepts of man, save their precepts shall be given by the power of the Holy Ghost." So I just found it just says we need to make sure that we're focused in the aspects of the Holy Ghost, and those people who are, focused in the strength that man has and the teachings of men, they're gonna in turn, says cursed, but we cannot just think of it as not receive the blessings that they do need and that they're looking for. So the whole lesson in Sunday school was about that. And it was really cool to talk about. That's it. Name is Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Sweet. This discussion looks kind of hard today.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Ooh, great. All right. So, with regard to key elements of the business model, what should CloudFlare keep/start doing with respect to CVP, GTM, TLM, and CFM? To create that table, I had to look up all those. Yeah, I did too, but I still need to remember what they are. Okay, so I guess we can. Oh, so it says in number 4 that we have to use an actual spreadsheet and turn it in after the discussion.
Okay.
I can make it. Okay, I guess.
I've already started on it too as well. So.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
I mean, even if we all just make it, you can probably just turn it in with your case analysis too. And yeah, I think that we're probably supposed to post it with in our discussion board with the YouTube link, something like that.
Okay.
So I'll post the link on there, but if one of you guys wants to post the spreadsheet on there too. Okay, so this table, so first let's describe the key elements. So the CVP is customer value proposal or something like that.
Okay.
Customer value proposition. Okay. So this is
business or marketing statement that describes why a customer should buy a product or use a service. It's specifically targeted towards potential customers rather than
That'd be just to protect your website. Yes.
Yeah, the key elements of CloudFlare's CVP is probably well, they have a huge clientele. They have like 1% of internet searches are under their clients' websites. I guess they don't do a lot of marketing, so it's just like a lot of word of mouth business that they're getting.
Okay. So huge clientele and word of mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also free for a lot of people.
It's what?
It's free for some people, right?
The free.
Yeah, I think only 4% of people actually pay.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason that people are drawn to it. Yeah, so it's really good for the small, medium businesses too, because it protects them from fraud and stuff like that, internet fraud.
Okay. Is this all for CVP? I'm trying to write this in the thing, but
Yeah. I don't think we have to do anything for the spreadsheet until number 4, Devin.
okay.
I don't think we need to include this table in there.
Okay.
So, but if you want to, you can. It's just going to be a lot of writing.
Okay.
So for CVP, what do you guys think they need to keep or start doing?
Maybe they could let everyone know that the more customers they get, one, let everyone know that they have a huge customer base. But I thought the part was cool where they said the more that they increase, the more smart the program becomes. I think the program teaches itself. And so just talk about how they have this huge client base. I don't know if it's the biggest one out there, but advertise that and how that benefits them.
I think that's a good idea. Also, they should probably start doing more marketing and advertising.
Yeah, I agree.
They should push more for the
I think that's going to broaden the customer base there.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're already getting a lot of business without doing it, but I don't see any reason why they shouldn't start marketing because they can do a lot better than they are doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So organizational implications. So I guess what will they have to do to start marketing and start giving like discounts for referrals and stuff like that?
Just set money aside for marketing their budget. They might have to hire someone who is good at marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing that they mostly had engineers on their team, so it'd be good to hire like some different people with different talents.
Yeah.
And then it was saying that they need to hire some more technical people because for like office equipment and stuff like that. A lot of new employees that are not engineers don't really know how to set up their computer systems and printers and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Okay, so moving on to GTM.
GTM.
It's the go-to market strategy.
Go to market.
So GTM is an action plan that specifies how a company will reach customers and achieve competitive advantage. So how are they going to reach more customers and achieve the advantage they need to bring their product to more customers?
Yeah, I guess more marketing, because I mean they're already doing good without it, so I don't think it would hurt.
I think they need to identify who's going to, which type of customers are most likely going to make a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that's where they're
Is this
going to
talking about what type of like how they're going to get money? Because I know it talked about them not being like a marketing agency themselves, but like selling people's information and like if they search the cars or whatever, then it would optimize their advertising. Is that what it like? Are we talking about just their service there with protecting their websites and stuff?
I think the subscription is just the protection of the websites. Is that the question? Yeah, I liked that. Identifying who's going to pay for the subscription.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what they should start. And then for organizational applications, probably the same thing.
Probably. I mean, they're going to have to do a lot of research. They're going to need to do that.
Yeah, just like we talked about, they're going to have to hire a marketing team to do that research.
Cool.
You hear echo?
Yeah, like a huge echo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grab headphones.
Me too.
Is that better?
Better?
Yep. Must have been me.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to COM. I forgot what this one is.
I'm looking at that.
Target operating model.
Where did you find that? Is that in?
I'm Google searching all these.
Oh,
I
you just
found
Googled it? Okay.
top of the mind advertising.
Yeah, I found Tom and
Yeah.
Jerry. I don't know.
Tom and Jerry. This one says target operating model is a description of the desired state of the operating model of an organization. It is possible to produce a TOM for a business or a function within a business. I don't know.
Okay.
What does yours say, Baden?
Let me go back to it. I think yours sounds
Better.
Now it changed it. Now this one is TOMA, so that's wrong.
Okay, so the desired state of operating model in the organization. So this is probably talking about CloudFlare. CloudFlare had a lot of problems. People are, people are quitting because they're not very organized and they don't have HR. It seems like the only employees that really enjoy working there are the ones that don't really have families and they're like super driven, but it's just a little bit unorganized and not clear objectives for all the employees.
Yeah.
So they're hiring really people with a lot of skills, but those people, if they're not given like a clear job in the company and they're having like inconvenient times for meetings, like they're not motivated to stay.
Mm-hmm. Which is like the exact same problem that they have at the company I'm interning at. I'm the HR intern now. They literally didn't have anybody for HR, so like they have an HR folder in their Dropbox, but it's all just like a big pile of trash. and so I'm optimizing all their files and stuff, but like I don't know, people quit like all the time. Just like it's a good company and successful, but they just couldn't keep employees, and it was like literally the exact same story.
So the key elements of that, I guess, are just figuring out what's the most effective way of operating, and I guess being able to retain your employees, keep them happy, and I get maximizing profits. I would imagine.
Yeah.
So what they need to start doing,
I think they need to establish kind of departments. There's one part in there that said there are like two groups, the engineers and then everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe establish titles or rankings so people have someone to report to kind of, so they know where to go to solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only issue with that is it talked about there being a hierarchy, how there was minimal hierarchy, and I thought that was like a pro. I thought that was like a positive thing that they were having. I don't know. That's just kind of how I felt like it was being expressed in the case.
I think there's one guy who.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they said that they didn't like the title of manager because he didn't want his engineers to think they were being managed, but rather just having someone there to assist.
I think I read somewhere that one of the guys quit because of something like that. It didn't say because there was no hierarchy. One guy quit because there wasn't the ability to move up. I remember that.
Yeah, I think that was the last guy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm not opposed to having a hierarchy. I don't know. I was reading and I felt like that. It's like there's no hierarchy and that's a good thing, or that was kind of what they were going for. But if not, like I'm cool with it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that idea too. They can still organize. They can still organize departments without having a hierarchy, I think, though.
Yeah, I agree.
just like making a department for the engineers, maybe HR, marketing, and then yeah, those four.
Yeah.
You might need someone to run those departments, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Some management, maybe. An
delegate.
overall management team.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it could help. They don't need to be huge managers, but at least someone can be in control a little bit.
Coordinators.
It was like someone was saying just barely, they're really skilled, but if they aren't given a specific job to do, they don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
So you need someone who can figure that job out or delegate it or tell them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think my idea with the just like something to implement is like specific job descriptions. I mean, we were talking about titles, but like also like with the job description comes an understanding of what you're responsible for. And I think that's what you're saying, Baden. And so that was just kind of thinking too.
Yeah, it works too. Just being more specific on what they need to get done.
Right.
Sweet.
So what's next?
CFF.
Yeah. Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
That's the one I found too.
Cash flow forecasting.
That's probably the right one.
Look at it.
Cash flow forecasting.
Maybe not. That must be it because the next number is about cash flow.
So the key elements of that cash flow forecasting, I mean, they understand that 4% of their customers are on the premium subscription or whatever. So maybe forecasting like their growth with their implemented marketing, whatever, then they can see like whatever they're planning on growing that way, they can say this much percent, the 4% of that is what we intend to have increase in the cash flow.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think they just need to figure out how many more subscriptions do we need to break even, and then make goals to reach that.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So, I looked it up right now. So what we're gonna have to do for this spreadsheet. So right now, their cash flow formula is they have 500,000 customers. 4% of them pay subscriptions, and then so that's $20 a month. That's $240 a year for that's 20,000 of their customers pay subscriptions times 240, and that's 4.8 million in revenue.
You got 4.8. How many customers do they have?
500,000.
And 4% of them pay.
Mm-hmm.
That's $20. I only got 400,000.
$20 a month.
Oh, so I have to times that. Yeah. There we go.
So they're about $3 million away from the break-even cash flow.
Okay.
We need to make $3 million more dollars.
Yeah, that's annually. So they
What?
have. It said that they have. So they have costs of like something like 7.8 million.
A year?
Yeah, and then they have a revenues of 4.8 million a year. So they're about 3 million negative in their losses.
And then, so basically, that goes into question 4, right? Where it's talking about cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, we need to divide that however much they're making. Is it 4 million? Is that what we said it was coming out to?
4.8.
4.8.
So then you divide the 4.8 by the 30 something engineers that they have.
It's 35 employees and then 26 engineers.
Okay. So question 4 says, suppose we have to hire more engineers in direct proportion on how to scale. So it'd be divided by 26. And each of those engineers is responsible for that much revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we would just have to multiply the individual number there by the $3 million difference to figure out how many more engineers we need to answer that question. But anyways, that's not the one.
So that would be 184,000
184,000 each.
per engineer. Yeah.
Okay.
184,615.
That's
And
the
we're
cost per engineer?
What was that?
That's the revenue that they're responsible for bringing in.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. And so we just divide, it's $3 million difference to break even point, right?
Yeah.
So then we divide 3 million by the 184 you said,
Mm-hmm.
and then that equals how many more engineers we need in direct proportion to cash flow.
16 more engineers.
Okay. So there's our answer for number 4.
But we also have to take into account that 16 more engineers would be 150,000 each in like salary and benefits, and
Oh dang.
so probably more than.
So then just take the revenue that each engineer brings in, subtract out that 150,000, and then
So that'd be 34,615 profit from each engineer. So 3 million.
Divided by that number.
34,615. So we need 86 more engineers.
How many?
It says 86.
86 more?
Yeah.
That seems high.
Yeah. I don't know if we're doing it wrong.
Working cash flow.
Well, they are 3 million in the hole. So it does kind of make sense.
But that's at how much business they're getting now. I think if they find a way to increase their percentage of customers with subscriptions, they'll be able to make a lot more revenue per engineer.
Yeah. It does say scale, so I think you're right on right there.
So how long would it take to become profitable? So they're obviously not going to hire 86 new engineers.
That's crazy, I think.
How do we find out how long it'll take for them to become profitable?
Look, they're doing it how they are doing it right now. They're not going to be profitable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the main thing that they need to do is to just like add marketing and advertising to their team so they can increase the number of customers that subscribe. Because if they just boosted it to 7% instead of 4% for their subscriptions of customers, then they'd be making 8.4 million in revenue, and that would be over. Then they would be making profit.
Gotcha. Cash flow to how we scale. I feel like I'm missing something from the case. Like it says in proportion to how they scale. Like I don't remember them talking about that.
Oh, maybe it means because if you look at number 5, it's asking if they have economies of scale. And so like the more customers they have, the cheaper it is for everyone.
Right.
And so that means if they increase the amount of people they're serving, they'll get more revenue, but they get more out of each of that revenue. So the costs kind of go down proportionally.
Right.
How to figure that out, I have no idea.
But there's a section here. It says the co-founders believe that their company benefited from significant scale economies. The more traffic they handled, the more patterns they could discern, allowing the team to improve network performance. Let me see. It doesn't talk numbers though. Anyways. Yeah, I
tough
think,
case.
yeah, seriously. That economies of scale was one of my favorite lessons, though, in economics. I think it was macro, maybe it's micro, but
Yeah, I can't find how to determine that scale.
yeah.
Should we just move on?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think that number we came up with originally, the 80 something new employees, currently that's how they're scaling. Like,
That would be how many more engineers they would need to become profitable.
yeah, if they continue to do it the same way without improving or anything,
Yeah.
I think implementing what we're talking about, I think they could do it much faster with with probably the same amount of employees. But
Yeah. Okay.
Did you enter that stuff in on your spreadsheet, Devin?
I was trying to read, and so I was not getting it all plugged in
I
real
created it.
time. Did you?
Yeah, so I have it if you just want to use that.
Yeah, that works out.
Okay.
Yeah, just post it on our discussion board after this.
Okay.
Okay. So number 5, why does CloudFlare management want to get big fast? What benefits does CloudFlare receive from scale? I think that's what you were talking about, Devin.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, because I mean, like, basically, I don't know. The way I'm seeing the business model is, you've got a service where you're protecting people, and you've got all these patents on your software and stuff, and so these other companies use you, and so they start paying for your premium service. Once you've got that service set up and you've got kind of your engineer team that can go in and fix problems, you can expand and just sell it to everybody. And so the more you sell it, the more problems you'll have to start fixing. And so you may have to hire a bigger team to deal with those problems. But once you've got a system in place that works, you can sell to anybody, and that software is free. There's no additional cost to giving software to whoever, except for their cloud storage. They said they had to set up whatever in different areas, but other than that, there's no cost involved. And so I think, I guess that's just what I'm envisioning, is like, you've got this software system that you've worked on with your engineers and stuff, and now that it works, like, sell to everybody, like, get it out there, and like, yeah, you'll have more problems to fix, but like, that's where you'll start making the real money, because 4% of 100 billion is much is a lot of money, as opposed to where they're at right now. So
Yeah.
Sweet. So it's not really a matter of more engineers. They just need to increase their scale and get more customers to pay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So does Cloudflare have network effects? We've already talked about that. Yeah, it does. The more people are using it, the better it gets.
Yeah.
High switching costs sounds like it won't have very many costs at all. Painful for customers to switch to a competitor if there was such a competitor out there.
It talked a little bit about how the competitors that are there's like software that you have to download, like disks and stuff, but these guys are super easy, 5 minutes and then you're good to go. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess my question is what loyalty do people have to them? Like if there were somebody that offered the same thing, what would keep them with these guys rather than switching?
Just,
And I'm having a hard time thinking of stuff.
I think it'd just be the customer base. If people knew, like, oh, these guys have more customers, and so their program's better.
Yeah.
That could keep them from moving, but I don't see any pain or cost of them switching over.
Yeah. Any barriers or anything? I mean, it could be the infrastructure, maybe because they're so readily available. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. So I guess the answer is no. I don't think there are. If there was a similar competitor out there, there wouldn't be a high switching. But right now, there's not, and so it would suck to switch.
Cool. So what other reasons do they have for wanting to get big fast?
You were saying about the patent and they don't last forever, so might as well get as many people while they can until that runs out and there can be real competitors.
Yeah.
Also, if they want to sell the company sometime, being bigger will just make them more money for a selling price.
Yeah. Profitable. Cool.
What reasons would we suggest for them not growing too fast?
I mean, you guys were saying about there being a couple of problems, maybe too many will arise and be hard for them, but that's about it.
Yeah. I think I'm just thinking about the people who talked about them targeting, like, I don't know, they've got like people who are trying to break the system or crack it or whatever. And so just if you grow real fast, you know, you might have a breach in your walls and somebody gets in and hacks your system. Which could be like it could be a big deal, like, you know, for people's trust. So that, I guess that's really the only fear there.
Mm-hmm. And maybe if they grow too big, they might decrease on the care they give their employees, so they might lose more employees.
Yeah.
Sweet. So now we have to discuss the resignations. For each one, list the reasons why they left, then ask what would have changed, what would have to change for that person to have stayed.
Okay.
So first guy,
First guy, Dale, it just sounded like he was super busy all the time.
yeah, he had calls like every 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were getting too big and they didn't hire anyone else that was in his position. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably just hire someone else. Could fix that problem.
David Conrad was the second one. Let's see.
Is he the one with personal problems?
He didn't really have a role. Here's what it was.
The structure. I
Yeah,
think was his
he wanted to build structure, and he used to be a co-founder of a different business, and then they said that they didn't want any structure. So he had a lot of concerns about organization and HR.
Mhm.
So it was just kind of he just felt like it was kind of a mess, and then he decided to leave.
So just what we talked about before, to fix that by establishing organizations within the company.
So David Zakur, he had the wife and 2 young children, and he was always at work late. So that's, I think, why he quit.
Isn't he the one that they hired? Yeah. They hired him before they were really even ready for him.
I think that was the last guy.
Are we
Or-
on David?
That was the guy that we were talking about before. Yeah. There's two Davids.
Zucker?
Yeah, that guy.
Where are we on? Right here in David Zucker, it says, we will hire you. We want to hire you, so we'll figure out how to make it work, but you will not. But you have to be comfortable not launching anything for a year.
Oh, you're right.
And it probably
Yeah,
happened
so
to both of them.
He didn't really have the job that he wanted because they
Yeah,
didn't.
it wasn't sad.
Yeah, it sounds like all these people were like super talented and had a lot of experience, so they could get jobs a lot of different places. So
Yeah. And then the last guy said, I'm just burnt out. I'm going to quit. Just had a lot of work. And he wasn't really passionate about it.
and then the one after that just quit because he just didn't like the CEO strategy and didn't get a larger team, so he quit.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it worth it to make these changes to keep the people who left? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think the last guy, it doesn't really matter. He just sounded kind of lame.
Yeah. Before
Position,
the
but
first four, though, it makes sense to make those changes.
yeah, for sure.
What'll happen to the other employees who work there if your changes are implemented?
I think the structure, like that we're talking about, I think that'll change. Like they'll be able to have defined roles and like organization. So it'll just organize. It'll benefit them that way. Wait, what will happen? Is it asking if they're going to leave or not? Sorry, I think I misunderstood.
Pretty much asking that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I
no,
didn't get that.
I think the other employees will be happy with the changes.
yeah. Why do people work at CloudFlare? What keeps them motivated? Did they join the company so they could be told what to do, have process and structure, or to change the internet? Well, I think the engineers work at CloudFlare to change the internet. Same with the founders. They don't care about the structure that much. They just care about like innovation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they want to be a legitimate business and like a bigger corporation, that they need the structure to have all their other employees happy, because right now they can't just run the business the way they are just with the engineers. They need structure of all the other departments.
Yeah. Especially because they're cash flow negative and business doesn't work if you don't make money.
Yeah. Okay, so group decision. Should they implement more process and structure, hire a VP of HR, and start using titles? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Slow down growth? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Discuss what will happen to company under your recommendations. What will happen to the culture and motivation of the current employees? What will happen to the cost structure and therefore profitability of the company?
I feel like they only could go up. I mean, like if they were to sell their company, like somebody who wants to buy it, they're gonna look at it and see how it is now, and it looked like it'll cost more. They'll spend more to try to get it structured. So if they just work a little bit on structuring, their profitability will go up because finally they can kind of work toward a similar goal instead of just like hanging out and like working. I don't know. I mean, I think it'll help them a lot.
I think so too. I don't think the engineers will care that much because, I mean, I guess if they want to work their same long hours that they were before, then I think that they can, but there might just be some more rules that could annoy people, but that's just, I think that they'll get used to it. It's just something they have to deal with having a larger business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man, that took forever.
Yeah, it was way long.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Sounds
Good
good.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks.